Hey everyone. As I said, I was going to do a quick video here on the Ender 3 that I bought. So I picked up this Ender 3 on Facebook Marketplace for $150 Canadian, which is quite a really good price when you consider everything that came with it. So for upgrades on this printer, it was converted over to direct drive. So it has a BMG dual gear direct drive clone, I think it is. A really small pancake motor on it already. It's got upgraded fan and cooling. I think it has an older Creality auto level probe, which I was able to get working with RepRap firmware. It has a magnetic build plate, a PEI magnetic build plate, which works actually quite well. As we discussed in the previous video, it did come with a Duet 2 Wi-Fi board. The original board, it actually had a SKR Mini in here, but the SKR Mini was dead. So I put the Duet 2 in here. And then it had a kind of a custom 3D printed spool holder, so it's not mounted on the top anymore, so it reduces vibrations and things like that. So yeah, all in all, it also came with a Raspberry Pi 3 as well, which I kept for another project. So for $150, it probably came with like $300-400 in extras, and I was able to play around with RepRap firmware a little bit, and now this is ready to go to a new home. It prints well, and you know, that's probably a really good way to get into, if you're wanting to get into customizing 3D printers or even building 3D printers, it's okay to start buy a cheap printer off of Facebook or Craigslist or whatever you have in your local area. Especially buy a broken one. Like, it's usually generally easy to fix these, and that's the best way to learn, especially if you want to learn how to, build a 3D printer from scratch. It's okay to start with like an Ender or something like that, and then, buy a RepRap board and configure it, or buy an SKR board and put Clipper on it. Especially like with Creality's machines, there's basically already Clipper configs for Creality, and it'll get your feet wet in, building a printer up from scratch. Like if you're a bit too shy about doing, a Delta printer right from scratch, just on all parts and doing the config file yourself, try and find a used or even broken 3D printer on your local marketplace. You can get these for really, really cheap, and they're very, very handy to learn and to play around with different firmwares and that type of thing. So yeah, this is my Ender 3, which I'm going to be selling now. A sneak peek that's going to be coming here on another project is I actually have a Ultimaker 2 that we're going to be converting over to Clipper. So this is a really old Ultimaker, like the original Ultimaker 2. The main board was crazy loud. They're really expensive to replace if they break. And yeah, it's just archaic. So I have a SKR Mini already, a brand new one in there ready for it. I do have a Raspberry Pi 3, and we are going to convert this over to direct drive. And we're also going to convert it over to 1.75 millimeter filament instead of the 2.84 or 2.8 whatever filament, 3 millimeter filament that Ultimaker uses. So yeah, look for this project coming up. And as always, there's going to be, Delta printer projects. I'm going to be basically redoing this printer, making some changes to it, adding a heated bed to it, a 110 volt heated bed with a solid state relay, and also going to be adding a nice PEI magnetic build plate to that as well. So that'll be coming a little bit later. All right, guys, stay tuned for more projects. Thanks again.